Dr. James Hall III traced his family roots back to the Mayflower in a meticulously documented genealogical search that he completed in 2011. Time limits us from starting at the beginning in the 1600s, so we'll start in 1948, the year Jay was born. Jay's grandfather was an optometrist. His father, Jim, was an optometrist, so it would naturally follow that Jay would become an audiologist. While it may appear that the decision was made when he performed some medical tests on his grandfather and found that while the eyesight was okay, there was wax buildup in his ears, the official decision did not come until much later. Growing up on Killingly Avenue in Putnam with his siblings, Tammy, Faith, and Florence, provided some inconveniences and some benefits for the Hall family, especially Jay.
On Sundays, we'd always have a big meal together. We had a large living room and dining room, and so every day, Sunday after church, we would have a meal together. And that was really a time when we all actually saw each other the most.
Mom Pat's never-ending taxi service, bike trips to meet up with friends, and even the occasional jog to and from various Putnam schools were the downside. But the opportunity as a 10-year-old to work in the neighboring Grove Street Cemetery was surely a plus for Jay.
He would cross the street and go into the cemetery and work with the cemetery men. And so when payday came, Arthur Keith lined up the men for their pay, and he had Jay stand in line with the men, and he got an envelope with a quarter in it. And from then on, that was Jay's style. Very modest about everything. Doesn't ever talk about what he's accomplished or anything.
Jay's early Putnam education and his dedication to it served him well. By the time he reached Putnam High, he was an accomplished musician, could belt out Beach Boys songs with the best of them, served 4 years as class president, and was strongly influenced by George St. Marie, his track coach and biology teacher. He quoted Mr. St. Marie as saying, "There's a great big world out there, see it." Jay has done his best to accomplish that task. After Putnam High, it was on to American International College, Northwestern, and Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, where he earned his PhD in audiology and the title of Dr. James Hall. It was while at Northwestern that Jay announced to the family that the optometrist tradition was to be broken. His future professional path was now clear. His educational background and burning desire to succeed propelled him to become an internationally recognized audiologist. In 1985, he was the first recipient of the Braintree Award for outstanding research in traumatic head injury. And in 2014, he received the Presidential Award for outstanding contributions to the profession for treating those with hearing and balance disorders. In between, the awards and citations continued to accumulate. His academic appointments as professor range from Salus University in Pennsylvania, the University of Hawaii, and the University of Pretoria in South Africa. Along the way, he authored over 150 journal articles and 9 textbooks, including the recently published Introduction to Audiology Today, which he considers his most challenging and rewarding publication. Jay has acknowledged that the awards were gratifying to receive and a testimony for how he is regarded in the profession. However, he gets the most satisfaction out of knowing that the impact of helping those in need far outweighs the tangible awards.
He's a tremendous man. He's someone that you just would never know of looking at him. And he doesn't boast, he doesn't, brag or anything. He's just down-to-earth guy, but has done tremendous things in his life.
He married Missy Heidelberger in 1971. Although there wasn't much time for a lengthy honeymoon, a short trip to Maine opened a door which has only become more inviting throughout the years. Although Jay continues on the lecture and conference circuit across the globe, he has managed to set aside some quality time with family, which now includes his children, Jason, Austin, and Victoria, their spouses, and especially his 3 grandchildren. His sister Tammy has described him as an individual with boundless energy, lover of a good laugh, a great storyteller, a voracious reader, can and will engage in conversation with anyone, and someone who might enjoy an occasional beer, especially after a road race, a half-empty keg, barefoot, missing person, and police involvement. But that's a story best left for Missy to tell. Jay's cross-country running in high school carried over into adulthood. He has competed in runs from 5K to a few marathons, including one completed in under 3 hours. Once a coach, baseball has now become a spectator sport, and a Red Sox spring training game is an annual must. But a highlight of athletic achievements was winning an NCAA Final Four pool. Bragging rights far and away exceeded the cash that he was able to pocket. As a youngster, Jay discovered a hardly used turnabout sailboat belonging to Uncle Stanley. He made repairs to keep it afloat, brought it to Alexander's Lake for a maiden voyage, and the passion began. Since that honeymoon trip, the allure of the state of Maine, and especially its inviting sailing options, was always there. He and Missy bought a small place on the water, purchased a larger sailing craft, and found their annual summer getaway. A leisurely fall stroll through the leaves might be something that becomes routine in the future. But right now, Dr. James Hall III is all about maintaining that busy schedule, which keeps him in demand.
It wasn't me that did it, it was Jay. But I'm proud of him, very proud.